This is BIG, the Bristol Interaction and Graphics Group, a project designed to create the next generation of computer graphics and user interfaces. Formed 5 years ago by computer scientist Sri Subramanian, the division has created more than 20 projects ranging from gesture interfaces to multi-touch displays and more recently, mobile devices. And if the last generation of UI was all about mobile, the future, it seems, is entirely virtual.
I want to be able to sit down here, have this conversation with you, but be able to pull up something in air in the middle between the two of us. That becomes the display, and when I start touching with it, I start getting haptic feedback in air, right, without wearing anything.
And rather than add to countless numbers of existing heads-up displays, BIG has decided to tackle a myriad of bigger picture problems.
A lot of the projects that we do in our lab is driven by a vision of enabling something that is quite far-sighted and in the future, right? We call this blue sky research because we are literally looking for something that's out there and very high risk. We've been lucky enough to attract research funding to pursue this kind of high risk, high ambition projects, right? So there's a danger that it may not work.
Students like PhD candidate Florin come to BIG with nothing but an idea and create projects like this, a system to visually augment and interact directly with objects in the real world.
We're working on a project which involves optical combiners to combine two physical spaces.
The system uses an off-the-shelf leap motion controller that recognizes a user's movements and then projects information about the object the person is either handling or even just pointing at.
We're using this panel to augment objects that are behind the panel to reveal what's inside them. You can see here the reflection of the board that I'm holding, and as this reflection intersects the object behind it, behind the panel, I can reveal like the internals of the object.
And then there's this, Sensor Bubble, a project that allows users to project information directly into a bubble.
Next to the bubble, you see the two things, that's the projector and the Kinect. So the projector is the one that projects onto the bubble, and the Kinect is tracking the bubble. You can see those circles over there, those are the bubbles that are being tracked. And whenever the Kinect detects a bubble, it sends an instruction to our program, and we project the information that we need to project over there.
But think BIG could be more bubble than groundbreaking. Think again. In 2014, the team spun out their first major product, UltraHaptics. Led by former PhD student Tom Carter, UltraHaptics wanted to tackle the next major barrier in virtual environments, touch.
UltraHaptics is a company that makes a technology allowing you to feel without touching. So we use ultrasound to gently vibrate the surface of your skin, so you can get feedback for mid-air gestures. You can control your devices without touching them and feel the controls, or you can feel 3D shapes, textures, surfaces in things like virtual reality.
The system uses an array of tiny speakers to create different levels of pressure on the skin's surface, essentially giving a malleable interaction to things that aren't even in the real world.
We have a collection of speakers here, and we're using a camera to track where your hand is. In this one, there's virtual bubbles floating up out of the device, and if you hold your hand out, you'll feel them popping on your hand. When you put your hand in, you'll see it on the screen, and then whenever a bubble intersects with your hand, you get the pop sensation.
That's amazing. The company is working on partnerships to commercialize UltraHaptics. Nonetheless, it's not just UltraHaptics. Major corporations have noticed the university's work as well.
Industrial corporations, they are interested in being part of some of the adventure that we have. Like Microsoft funded a PhD student in our lab. We've had funding from Nokia. They see some value in talking to us and also being part of what we do.
The university, for its part, says the investment reaps its own rewards, not just in positive news stories, but also in returns from associated patents and shares in the spun-off companies. But of course, that doesn't mean every idea is a winner.
The important thing is to create a culture of being ambitious in the lab, right? And ideas emerge through that. We brainstorm a lot, and no idea is a bad idea.